and welcome to episode number 10 of the Nord and Block podcast. We're at double digits. It is Monday, April 1st, 2024. So it's April. We're almost in the playoff season. It's April Fool's Day. Easter has passed. Hopefully, everyone had a very good, happy Easter. Leblock, this is my last episode. I'm quitting the podcast after this.
Yeah, just the block catch after this.
Just kidding. April Fools. I'm staying. I'm your host here, Nord 97, joined with Leblock. How you doing?
We tired, but we hanging in there. We hanging in there.
Yeah, me too. I'm actually dragging, but we'll be okay. So we're into the stage where a lot of teams are starting to clinch and get eliminated. We're seeing a lot of teams start to clinch over these last couple of weeks. Most recently, the Toronto Maple Leafs just clinched tonight, so definitely they're added to the list. But plenty of teams have clinched, including the Boston Bruins, the Carolina Hurricanes, the Florida Panthers, the Dallas Stars, the Colorado Avalanche, the Vancouver Canucks, and the Toronto Maple Leafs. So, any surprises in that list, in your opinion?
You know, I think Toronto is the worst team in the league. I don't know what. No,
here we go.
Not really. I'm not gonna lie to you. Vancouver, maybe. If you told me at the start of the year Vancouver is going to be the 1 seed in the Pacific, I probably would have laughed at your face. I'm not going to lie. I would probably be laughing hysterically, but that's probably the only surprise, really. But Vancouver's had a good year, so I can't really say I'm surprised that they're there based off of their play.
Yeah, really everything else seems expected. I'm not surprised that, Dallas or Florida or them clinched. Vancouver, I guess, is arguably the most surprising out of all of those because a lot of people didn't view them as a playoff team this year. I was one of those people. I viewed them as kind of a team that was on the fence, essentially. But nope, they proved us wrong, and now they're in the playoffs. So it's good to see there from Vancouver. Big congrats to them. Yeah. So the Minnesota Wild made some news. John Hines, even though I understand why he did it again, he might have killed the Wild season by doing this. He pulled the goalie in overtime against the Vegas Golden Knights. Jonathan Marchessault just casually goes up and scores into the empty net and wins the game for Vegas. And the Wild lose the overtime point. So Vegas earned 2 points. The Wild lost 2 points in a very crucial game for the playoff race. So, LeBlock, do you think John Hines was justified for making this play?
See, I'm on the fence here because, yes, you look at Minnesota, they're a clear 8 points out of the playoff race, like out of the last wild card. Get those 2 points, you're 6 points out, but your time is basically run out. The hourglass is like in his last few little specks of sand. You should have took the point and trying. Even if you did win, you win. But if you did lose with the goalie in there, you still get a point.
Yeah, you still get a point. Sorry. Sorry if people heard that. My other computer is restarting. Yeah, I agree. I understand it on both ends. The Wild are clearly out of the playoffs, and you want to try and get something going there, at least get closer. But as well as that, too, it did cost you. So I understand it, but still, it's very unideal for the Minnesota Wild there as well. So, other news, the Frozen Four is going on. I got to look it up. I think did both Bostons make it?
Yep, BU and BC made it.
So BU, BC, University of Michigan, and
Denver.
Denver made the Frozen Four. So me and LeBlock's predictions essentially were cooked. Both of ours did not do all too great. I had Quinnipiac, UMass, Minnesota, and Michigan. I went 1 out of 4. LeBlock had I scroll past. LeBlock had Michigan State, Maine, Quinnipiac, and Boston University. So LeBlock overall went 1 for 4 as well. So yeah, don't doubt Boston College. That's what I've learned.
Yeah, like even when I made that pick, I knew I was like, you know what? We're gonna go I always like a little bit upset.
little spicy
But
takes.
no. But when I made the pick, like, no, that's probably gonna be wrong. Um, I mean, you look at this Frozen Four. It's all blue bloods. It's all programs who have had success in the past 10 years. Michigan has the most titles ever. BU and BC have won recently, and I think Denver won a few years ago as well.
Denver won in, I believe, 2022.
Yeah, they won 2 years ago, and then I think BU won in 17, I think, and then BC's
Yeah, so
it's been a bit.
relatively recent teams,
Yeah.
obviously, but yeah, if you had to pick a Frozen Four winner out of those four teams, who you taking to win it?
I think Boston College is gonna knock everybody off. I'll be honest.
Boston College with my trader Kota Gauthier. Yeah, I feel like Boston College has a good chance too. I mean, they have Iser. Doesn't Iserman and
I think
or did they?
Eiserman's on BU. Eiserman and Matt and Sabrina are on BU.
I get them mixed up, but yeah, I mean, Boston College has Gauthier. They have plenty of other players that are significant to that roster. So definitely, they're a team that I definitely see going far. Ivan Fedotov, as of tonight, made NHL history. He is the tallest NHL goaltender to suit up in a game at 6'7.5". He passes Ben Bishop by like 2 meters to become the tallest goalie in NHL history to play a game.
Wow.
Doesn't make a difference because obviously the Flyers lost. So the thing is with Fedotov and me, when I look at Fedotov, he's freaking huge. I mean, that should be pretty obvious. He's a pretty big goalie. He's literally 6'7", so he's pretty freaking big. The only issue that I have with that though is that you can either be really good at that height or you could be really bad at that height. There's really no in between when it comes to really freaking tall goalies. And when you look at him when he's standing up, man, he sucks in the 5-hole. So
As
that's
most tall goalies do, suck in the 5-hole.
yeah. So
Amazing.
that's not nothing unusual, but still. In other news, I believe there are some teams that have been eliminated from the playoffs as well since we last talked. The
Yes.
Columbus Blue Jackets, the Arizona Coyotes, and I think that's actually it. There haven't been a lot of teams that have been eliminated recently. The Eastern Conference
Seattle.
playoff race is so close. Seattle gets Seattle can get eliminated tonight. They haven't been
Okay.
eliminated yet though. It says with a regulation loss versus San Jose. Um, I don't think they lose to San Jose, but I've been wrong before, so we'll find out. But obviously, Seattle can get eliminated there too. Again, other teams that really shouldn't surprise you, like I mean, Arizona shouldn't surprise, Columbus shouldn't surprise. Those teams are usually eliminated at this time of the year, so not a huge surprise there. And I think that's it for all of the big news. There was a suspension. There was Ryan Hartman suspended 3 games for unsportsmanlike conduct. He threw his stick out onto the ice like a baby, essentially. But yeah, Hartman suspended 3 games for that. And
Gooley.
moments later, the lost in overtime. So that's fun.
Gooley got suspended as well.
So, who got suspended?
Gooley.
Oh yeah,
Caden.
Caden Goulet. Oh my God, I missed that. Goulet got suspended for 1 game for spearing Travis Konechny from the bench. Um, Interesting. But yeah, not a surprise there.
Honestly, Bush League move. Like, honestly, like sliding someone from the bench is probably the softest thing you could do.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like there are better ways to handle that, but hey, what all the power to Goulet, I guess. I think that's it for news. There hasn't been a whole lot in regards to news besides playoff teams clinching and all that. There are teams that are, scraping in, battling for a playoff spot, which is a good transition to what we're going to talk about next. The playoff race. Are we going to do East and West, or just East? What's our
I
plan?
think look at the West. I think the West is it's pretty set in stone. About like we guys,
Yeah,
we'll glaze over the West first because it's pretty easy. So you're looking at teams fighting to get into the playoffs. It's really not. It's St. Louis. That's about it. Because I feel Minnesota's done. Calgary's done. Calgary's definitely done.
Seattle could get eliminated tonight, so they're
Yeah.
done.
And Seattle has the same
Everyone,
amount of points as Seattle has the same amount of points as Calgary. So I don't know how they're not both. I know maybe it shouldn't.
I think it's because Seattle plays tonight.
Maybe yeah.
Seattle
So
plays. I
like
don't know.
the only I think it's just St. Louis. St. Louis is fighting to get past LA, and they have 5 points. LA has 5 points on St. Louis with a game in hand. And honestly, I don't see St. Louis catching LA. I really don't.
I think they fell too far behind.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I mean, like they have been pretty solid since they brought in Bannister, but just they just fell too far behind at the one point in
Yeah.
the season. So
So
it
that
is what it
game,
is. I think this team has a bright future,
mm-hmm.
but
that game against Vegas like a week and a half ago was very important, and they just didn't show up. When they were like
yeah, it's
3 points out, and they could have cut it down to 1, and they just blew it.
yeah. If they beat San Jose, we'd be talking about a different story here. But since they lost and the Kings won the other night, um, yeah, the odds are not in their favor, and especially if LA beats the Jets tonight, which is possible, then yeah, you're just completely out of it. Completely. While we're on the topic of the Western Conference, let's talk about the Jets. The Winnipeg Jets have been sort of free falling these past couple of weeks. They have lost 5 straight games, and they have gone 6-8 or something like 7-9 in the month of March. Overall, not a great month from Winnipeg. Leblock, what are your thoughts on the Jets? Is this a repeat from last season?
I don't want to say it's a repeat because like last year was so bad where I think from January on they won 8 games. That's it to end the year. The Jets are definitely in a big slump. I don't want to say it's a second annual free fall, but it's looking like it. Nashville is on pace to pass the Jets right now. They're 4 points. They're 4 points away from Winnipeg. If Winnipeg keeps going on this trend, Winnipeg could be seeing a wild card spot.
Yeah, and I mean, let's face it though. Do this Jets team want to play Colorado or Vancouver in the first round? Who do you want to play realistically?
Honestly, I would rather play Vancouver.
Yeah, I would rather play Vancouver too. Colorado to me is just too dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe dropping isn't the worst thing in the world, but obviously we'll see if that is a reality or not. Speaking of which, though, moving into Vancouver and Edmonton, there's a legitimate chance that the Edmonton Oilers could pass the Vancouver Canucks for first place in the Pacific Division. They are currently 6 points behind Vancouver with 2 games in hand. And Edmonton does have the easier schedule than the Canucks. So, LeBlanc,
And
do you think do you think that Edmonton can catch Vancouver?
they can. I don't think they will though. Though Demko's still out. I'm pretty sure, unless I'm mistaken. I'm pretty sure Demko's still.
Demko is on LTIR.
Yeah, so Demko's still out. So there's a definite chance. I think Vancouver somehow wins the division by like a point or two. If Edmonton wins that division when they started the year just so poorly, that's then Chris Noblock should win Jack Adams. Like it's, or you give McDavid every award and you walk away. Like
yeah,
it would
yeah, essentially.
it would be a great story to be that down and out and win the division, possibly even win
Well,
the West, like the East West, the West, be the 1 seed in the West.
yeah,
Excuse me.
yeah, they could very well win the West too. It's definitely a possibility. I don't know, maybe we'll see, but there's definitely a possibility there. Additionally, though, I would just like to say to wrap things up on the Western Conference, more or less, it's going to be these 8 teams that are in it currently. It's just a matter of who plays who at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think St. Louis catches LA. I don't see that happening. So, obviously you can say differently, but definitely I don't think so. So yeah, moving into the East.
Wait, so you're
LeBron, take it
saying
away.
there's a chance?
There is a chance.
Yeah. Anyway, you're saying
there is
into
a
the
chance.
East. Getting to the East.
Into the East.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry. Yeah, I thought you were going to do that. Getting to the East. This is a lot more of an open race, I will say. So basically, in the last wild card spot, you have Washington right now with 82 points. Right behind them at 82 points is the Detroit Red Wings. Right behind them is the Islanders at 79 points. And then, honestly, they're still here. I'm going to just give it to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's still there, too. They're still kicking around with, their feet
Yep.
and their flippers. Their Sidney Crosby.
They're flippers.
Their flippers.
And Crosby, essentially.
But then you have Philly, who is third in the Metro, but at 83 points.
Yeah, and the Flyers look like a team that could clearly just fall off a cliff at any point, and it looks like they have been. They haven't. They've lost 4 in a row. If they hadn't have gotten the point today against the Islanders, I think they probably would have been out of a playoff spot right now. I don't know the tiebreaker between Detroit and Philadelphia, but I feel like Philly would be out of a playoff spot had they not gotten that point. So that point was insanely crucial to the Flyers' playoffs right now. It would have been nice to beat Chicago. It would have been nice to beat the Islanders, but we'll take the point, I guess. I don't know. I don't know anymore.
You'll take points when you get them. You're not like John Hine who pulls the goalie and doesn't let, and then you lose points, and then it's a whole clearbacle there.
The whole thing, yeah.
The thing is about Philly has the most games played right now out of any of those teams right now. You look at Washington, 70. Philly has 76 games played. Washington at 73, Detroit at 75, Islanders at 74, and then Pittsburgh at 74. Philly, if I'm a Flyers fan, I'm not in panic mode, but I'm very uneasy with what's with this going forward.
Well, people need to realize, too, the Flyers weren't expected to be a playoff team. They weren't. Yeah. They weren't expected to be a playoff team whatsoever. So, whether they make it or they barely miss, I'd say that's a win. I'd say that's a pretty good season. I mean, I would love to see playoffs. I'm a Flyers fan myself. I'd love to see playoff hockey. But if we miss the playoffs, I'm not complaining necessarily. It tells me that we do have a bright future coming. And with some of the guys that we've added and seeing guys like Forster and, Brink and Drysdale come over, there's a lot of potential here with this Flyers team. So whether they miss or make it, doesn't really matter. It's still a win of a season for me. And regardless, whoever is in that third spot is going to get destroyed. So.
But do you want to make the playoffs or not? And that's a quote from Gould.
Yeah, pretty much.
So and then Tampa's in the first wild card right now, but they're big chilling at 89 points. They're not worried about nobody right now.
Yeah, they're more worried about catching Toronto, but yeah. I don't think they will. They're about 6 points.
I don't think they will either. But look at Washington, who Washington has been playing decently well, and they have I think they're the least games played. So Washington, I think, is sitting pretty comfortably. Not comfortably.
They got Buffalo tomorrow.
They have who tomorrow? Sorry.
They got Buffalo tomorrow, so if they win that, they're 1 point ahead of the Flyers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's big. And then Detroit. Detroit's right there. Detroit's a team. I feel like they've been out of it, and then they get back in it. They're like, it's like
we're good. Weird.
We're cooked. We're back. We're cooked. We're back. We're cooked. We're back. Like it's like a roller coaster. Yeah, and like you look at Detroit, they'll play games where they're outplayed the whole game, yet they'll win by 1 goal. Detroit has that. We will not go away. We will not go away. We will not be pushed aside. We're here. And then the Islanders
versus Tampa.
Yeah, tonight against Tampa, they got
heavily
outplayed. Yeah, Islanders are just a team that the Islanders did win tonight. The Islanders just need to go away. I don't want to see a team with 15. Actually, Boston's there, so I don't want to retract my statement there. They should.
I know.
If the Islanders make it, I would. Yeah, they are. But if the Islanders make it, I am calling for a new playoff system. I will put my fist in the sky and reach for it. The Islanders have been playing all right. Like, Sorokin's been not that great the past month. I know that.
Yeah, he's been kind of when it comes to just, you look at the overall numbers. He's been So, transitioning into another team here. They're not necessarily in the race, but Leblock's a fan of him. The Ottawa Senators, they have won 5 straight games. They're coming up to a nearly 500 record. However, this is great and all, but they're rising up the overall league standings, which is decreasing their odds at a really good draft pick. So, Leblock, does this piss you off that the Senators are actually playing well down the stretch here?
How dare you bring this up on the podcast? Yes, I'm fucking pissed off. Yes, it's every year where we suck to start the whole year, and then you know what? It's March. All gas, no brakes. Let's do it. Let's go. Like I'm sick. Like if you're gonna be bad, be bad. Suck, please. We had a guaranteed top 5 draft position. Now I think we're pick number 9 now. Like it's frustrating because you look at the guys, okay, I want these group of guys that are not going to fall past here. Then you fall past there, and then it's a whole, like, it's, you say, oh, it's good for the room. Here's the thing, when it's good for the room, when we we go to November next year and start 1-12, I don't want to hear it was good for the room ever again.
I mean, you're so far out of a playoff spot. Just like and this happened last year too, where they just got so far behind, then they just started winning games to decrease the
But
odds of a good
when we
draft.
started winning games earlier, like we were out of it by like November, and then just in January we went like 13-1, and then we had a good February, then we just shit the bed in March. So I would rather do that than do this, and do like the last 10 games. Let's go on a 10-game win streak. I mean, we're not out of it. We're not out of it, but I know we're not making it. There's no shot.
No, you're not mathematically out of it. You will be by the end of this week, though. I
Probably,
think
yeah.
you will. You will be by the end of this week, probably. You guys actually have less points than Seattle, and you're still in it just because that's how weird it is.
East, yeah.
Playoff system. I think if y'all play tomorrow, I think you might be out of it by then.
We play Minnesota tomorrow, but it's funny because
Yeah,
Buffalo went on an 8-game, like a 7-game win streak, and they're up there too now. They were way with us in the bottom as well. So Atlantic teams and ruining their draft position is the most iconic duo of all time.
Yeah, I agree for sure. But wrapping up things here in the East, who do you think from the overall wildcard teams battling it, the teams that are in the playoff spots right now, who do you think is going to make it out of those teams?
I think Washington takes Philly out of that free spot. And I see Detroit taking the last spot. I don't want to see them. I want to see Philly make it, but it just has me a little like I think Washington takes it, or Philly or Detroit get the last spot. That's my opinion. I think the Islanders are gonna come close, but not make it. Pittsburgh's out of it. New Jersey's done. Like,
here's the issue. I feel like Philadelphia has such an easy schedule their last like 6 or 7 games that like they could absolutely go on like a 6 or 7 game heater, but just like I don't know what it is. Like they just seem so tired and I will say this too. Urson has not been good. Urson has not, and I don't blame Urson. He's a rookie goalie who has played 95% of our games since Hart got put into the allegations.
mm-hmm.
I don't blame him. I mean, I 100% get it. He's freaking tired. But at the same time, it's the most valuable point of the season where the Flyers need to start getting wins here. And they have the easiest schedule amongst the Capitals, amongst the Red Wings, amongst the Islanders. They have the easiest schedule. But no, we're just going to keep losing to Chicago. We're going to keep losing to these teams. It just pains me. And yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if we missed the playoffs. But if we missed the playoffs to freaking Detroit, I might actually just like go into hiding. I don't know if I can handle myself because my girlfriend's a Red Wings fan. I have plenty of friends who are Red Wings fans. I can't.
Philadelphia has a 24th.
I can't.
They have the 24th toughest schedule remaining. They do play Washington one more time. That's going to be a huge game. Then the Islanders have
their last game of the season.
Mm-hmm. Islanders have the 22nd hardest schedule remaining. They don't play anybody of note. Detroit has the 17th. Detroit plays Washington one more time. Pittsburgh one more time.
Detroit plays Montreal their 2 last freaking games of the season. So I need Montreal to help me out here.
Please. Washington has the 13th hardest schedule. They play last year. They play Detroit. They play you, Pittsburgh, Buffalo twice, Ottawa, Boston, and then Carolina. And then
Yeah.
Pittsburgh has the 8th hardest schedule left. They play Detroit, Washington, New Jersey, the Islanders, and they play Boston, Toronto, Nashville, Tampa. So pick your poison. I guess Philadelphia out of those teams do have the easiest schedule on paper, but we've seen teams who have easy schedules on paper miss the playoffs.
Yep. Uh-huh.
I can point to Pittsburgh last year.
I don't know what to expect.
Pittsburgh needed 1 point against Chicago and against Columbus, and they got 0.
No, they got 1 against Columbus. They needed it against Chicago, and they lost.
Did. Yeah, you're right.
A bedardless Chicago, by the way.
But yeah, the East race is going to come down to the wire, and I'm super excited for it.
Yeah, I am.
I always say it's more
out
exciting.
of that.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's more exciting when your team's not in it, because you don't have to stress about it.
Oh, I'm freaking stressed to hell. So to believe me, it is probably better that way. But yeah, moving out of the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference playoff races, we're gonna get into awards. We're gonna do our leaderboards for each award, meaning the Hart Trophy, the Norris Trophy, the Vezina Trophy, the Calder Trophy, and the Jack Adams is, I think, the 5 rewards we're going to do. So, which one do you want to start off with, Leblock? Do you want to start off with Calder Trophy?
Why don't we go Calder? We'll do the Hart last. We'll do Calder first, and then we'll do, I guess, Jack Adams, Vezina, Norris, Hart.
Okay. All right. So, how we're going to run this is we're going to each share, let's say I give my number 5, then you give your number 5, and we're just going to run it up that way.
Sure.
If that works for you.
That's fine with me.
So that way we can compare who we have at each spot. So you want to get started there with the Calder Trophy?
Number 5, I have Samuel Urison.
Ooh, not a bad pick, but I'm going with another Philadelphia Flyer, Tyson Forster at number 5. Forster's been cooking it up. He actually has the tied lead for amount of rookie goals. So,
do you know how?
My number 5.
Do you know how bad it was for me not to put Ridley Gregg at 5? Just my homer bias.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure it was horrible. That's why he's at number 4.
All right,
my number 4 then.
My number 4 is Marco Rossi.
Ooh, I don't mind that pick either. Number 4, I actually have Logan Cooley.
Okay. I thought about putting him in. He's not in my top 5, but he was really considered for me.
Number 3, you have.
My third one is Luke Hughes.
That's not a bad pick.
Quietly having a very good season.
Snubbed in my top 5. What'd you say?
Quietly having a very good season.
Yeah, he is. I've been making rookie check-ins every single month. Hughes has been really climbing up the ranks in the past 2 months. Yeah, Luke Hughes definitely deserves a lot of recognition. Number 3, though, I have Marco Rossi. Rossi, a very good name there from Minnesota, making a good name for himself. Number 2,
Brock Faber.
Me as well, Brock Faber. So definitely, Faber's been a great defenseman this year. Definitely should be at least second in votes for sure. And number 1.
Here we go, Betsy! Toe drag release! Toe drag
Connor Bedard at number 1. April Fools, I got Ridley Gregg. Just kidding. Connor Bedard, number 1. Shouldn't surprise anyone. Our general Calder conception is that should be, those are pretty obvious what number 1 is.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's our Calder ranking. Let's get into Jack Adams. LeBlanc, who do you have at number 5?
Chris Naubel. I can't pronounce his name properly.
I also have Chris Knobloch at number 5. He's had a great season for Edmonton. Has been a player who has, or a coach who has really just came in midway through the season and then looking like he could be a Jack Adams winner. So definitely a name there that I like. Number 4.
I got Torts.
I also have Torts at number 4. Torts would have been number 1 or number 2 had the Flyers not fallen off a cliff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll agree with that.
But yeah, Tortorella number 4. He's made a Flyers team much better than they were previously. Number 3.
Paul Maurice.
Ooh, that's not a bad name there for Florida. I actually went with Pete DeBoer
Okay.
of Dallas. He's the coach, right?
Yes,
I think
he
he
is.
is. Pete DeBoer of Dallas at number 3. Number 2, you have
Number 2, I have Peter Laviolette of the New York Rangers.
not bad. That's a good name there too. I actually have Vancouver's Rick Tocchet in number 2. And your number 1 winner for the Jack Adams Award is
Rick Tocchet.
DJ Smith. Oh wait, sorry, my bad. I have Peter Laviolette. I have Peter Laviolette at number 1 for my Jack Adams. I think Laviolette's turned a Rangers team into a really good roster, even though they were last year. Just I feel like this year the Rangers seem more dominant. But yeah, Laviolette at number 1 there for my Jack Adams. Moving into, you want to do Vezina next?
Yeah, Vezina.
All right, Vezina Trophy number 5 is for you.
Bobrovsky.
Ooh, not a bad pick there. I actually have Jeremy Swayman at number 5.
Okay.
Number 4.
Yushi Saros.
Decent. I have Sergei Bobrovsky at number 4. Bobrovsky is at my 4. Number 3.
Jeremy Swayman.
Not bad. I have Demko at 3 for my number 3. Number 2.
I have Demko at number 2. I have
Of course. I have Shesterkin at number 2. And number 1 for you?
Connor Hellebuck.
I also have Connor Hellebuck. So why don't you have Shesterkin in your top 5?
I feel like the goalies I've listed have done more of an impact to their team. You look at Shesterkin, he's kind of taking a little backseat to Jonathan Quick this year. Quick's been having to come in and like take in a lot of those games. Shesterkin's not doing too good.
They've been a better tandem this year than Shesterkin has been starter. So I will agree with you there, but I think he's at least top 5. But that's just my opinion. Norris Trophy. Who do you have at number 5?
Number 5, I actually have Noah Dobson.
Ooh, I have Evan Bouchard at number 5. I might be underrating Bouchard a little bit, but I have Bouchard at number 5 for the Edmonton Oilers. Who do you have number 4? Number 4. Who do you have?
Roman Josi.
Okay, Yossi's always been in the conversation. It feels like he's forgotten about this year, but still deserves to be in the conversation. I have Noah Dobson at number 4.
Okay.
Number 3?
3, I have Evan Bouchard.
Okay. So we have generally the same players. I have Adam Fox at number 3, actually. Adam Fox having a, not as great of a season as previous years, but still should be in the Norris conversation. Number 2?
Number 2, I have Cale Makar.
All right. I also have Cale Makar at number 2. And number 1?
Quinn Hughes.
I also have Quinn Hughes. So general conception there for pretty much all of our picks have been the same, more or less so far. But leading up to the big award, the Hart Trophy. Leblock, who do you have at number 5 for the Hart?
For the Hart, number 5, I have Connor Hellebuck.
Not bad. I have Austin Matthews at number 5. At a people may argue that he is pretty low for my standards, but yeah, I have Matthews at number 5. I feel like there are other players who have been way more valuable to their teams than Matthews has, in my opinion.
Number 4, I actually have Matthews.
Oh, okay. I have David Pastrnak at number 4 for Boston. He's been carrying the Bruins. People don't realize that. Offensively, he really has. He's been awesome for Boston. So definitely deserving of being in that column. Number 3,
Connor McDavid.
I also have Connor McDavid. I feel like our top 3 is going to be the same consensus. But yeah, McDavid at number 3. If he passes them for the Art Ross Trophy, there's a really good chance he wins the Hart.
Yeah, like if he wins Art Ross, and I think
I don't know. That's really
very hard to not give him the Hart. My number 2, I have Kucherov.
I also have Kucherov. So yeah, Nikita Kucherov carrying the Lightning this year. But I think it's close. I think it's really gonna be a nail biter. But at number 1, who do you have?
Zach Hyman. No, I got Nathan McKinnon.
Oh my god. Nathan McKinnon, number 1. Yeah, Zach Hyman's been a great player. But no, he scored 50 goals because he's rich. Now. But yeah.
How dare you?
Nathan McKinnon at number 1.
Yeah.
So, my award winners for each award is Nathan McKinnon for the Hart Trophy, Quinn Hughes for the Norris Trophy, Connor Bedard for the Calder Trophy, Connor Hellebuck for the Vezina Trophy, and Peter Laviolette for the Jack Adams. Leblock, who do you have?
So I'll go from my heart is McKinnon, my Vezina is Hellebuck, my Calder is Bedard, my Norris is Quinn Hughes, and my Jack Adams is Rick Tocchet. I know I went completely out of order there, but deal with
That's
it.
fine. That's fine. So yeah, we deal with it. So yeah, we have the same consensus there for most of the picks besides the Jack Adams. But yeah, I'd say overall our lists aren't too bad. If you want to see those on our Instagram, make sure to follow the @NordBlockPod. That would be greatly appreciated. But yeah, we're gonna move into some fun games now that LeBlock has planned for me. Right. So LeBlock, care to explain the game that we're playing?
All right, this is called Buy or Sell. Now, we used to do this on the LeBlock cast. Basically, I'm going to say a statement, and you're going to say if you're buying it, which means you agree or you think it's a good idea, or you're selling it where you disagree with it or you think it's a bad idea. Now, I have quite a few of these. I have a whole list here because I'm a professional. So, I try to get some of not just one team, like I did multiple teams. So we're going to start off here. I got about 10 to 12 of them for a year. All right. The Detroit Red Wings should fire Derek Lalonde and bring in Sergei Fedorov next season.
I know where you got this one from. I don't know. It really depends on if they make or miss the playoffs. I feel like if they make it, they keep Lalonde. If they miss, I think they do that. I'm going to go... Just if they miss the playoffs right now, I think I go buy that. I think I would say yes, that would happen. So buy.
I'll be honest, I'd be selling that or I'd be leaving the store, one or the other. But I just think firing Lalonde, even if they miss by like 1 or 2 points and just getting rid of him after that, I think that's just not a good move.
True. You probably know better. You probably know better than I do. But
right. The Pittsburgh Penguins will be a better team when they get rid of Mike Sullivan.
Can I blow up the store? I don't know. That's a really good one. I mean, I'm selling. I still think there's a lot of flaws to this Penguins team. That's Sullivan. That even if you bring in a new coach, they can't fix that.
I do think that Sullivan's like message in the room might be not there anymore, but I think the team in general is just full of holes.
Yeah, so
all right,
kind of where I am as well.
The Sens this season were a fluke.
This season?
Yes.
I mean, like there were a lot of people that overrated them. I think I was one of them. You wanted to get better, but there were definitely flaws on this team that we didn't realize.
There's also, I do want to say, almost every player on the team had a down year, had just not a good year.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I'm gonna sell that. I don't think I don't think it's a fluke. I think that the expectations are a little bit disappointing. I definitely think they could have been better, but I don't think they were a fluke necessarily.
After last year's second round exit, the Toronto Maple Leafs now have the full mental capacity to go on a Stanley Cup run.
What? Sell? No. Absolutely not. I don't trust the goaltending. I don't trust the defense. I don't even trust the depth. No. Sell.
If the Buffalo Sabres get into the playoffs, they will be Florida from last year.
What'd you say you cut out?
If Buffalo makes the playoffs, they will be like Florida last year.
Sell. I know I'm wearing a Sabres jersey, but sell. Sorry, you cut out and I was like, what happened? Sorry. No, you sell. That's not happening. They're not even making the playoffs.
This second straight Jets free fall, the Jets need to clear house. Fire Bowness and Cheveldayoff.
I think you fire Cheveldayoff, but you don't fire Bowness. I think you sell that.
I put on here Bowness specifically because I feel like that might be it's only happened under him. I'm not just putting it out there.
I don't know. Cheveldayoff's been there for a long freaking time though.
He has.
Good point. You have a good point though.
Philadelphia making the playoffs this year or missing by 1 point is a bad look for the rebuild, or is not good for the rebuild.
I wouldn't say it's not good for the rebuild. I feel like they still sold at the deadline. Mm-hmm. I'm selling that. They still sold at the deadline. I mean, they still sold. They got some stuff back. I feel like they could have sold more if they were bad, but I don't think it's bad for the rebuild necessarily. Besides maybe a high draft pick, but I feel like they still have a really bright future.
The Bruins are a first-round exit.
I don't want to sell everything, but I'm selling that too. I think Boston goes further this year. I know I keep selling everything, but I'm not trying to.
The Canucks with a healthy Demko win a round or two.
I buy that. I think they win a round. I don't know about two, but I think they win a round.
Trevor Zegras will be somewhere else next season.
Buy.
Buy?
Yeah, I think you buy that.
All right. The Blackhawks winning the lottery for a second straight year would not be good overall for their rebuild. Because remember, if you win this year, you can't win the lottery for another 5 years.
I don't think so. I think you sell that. I think getting Celebrini and Bedard would be amazing. I mean, wait, can they can't get the first.
No.
Can they still get like second, third in that?
No, you can't move up. You can't win the lottery. So so if you move up to actually you can move up to second. You can't move up to first though.
Yeah, I think you sell that. I feel like you get Celebrini and Bedard. That's insane. And then you could also get pretty good picks anyways in the following years. So I'm selling that.
Vegas doesn't get past the second round.
Oh. I really want to say bye.
Well, you sold most of the list. You might as well start buying.
I'm so freaking torn. You know what? Yeah, we're buying. Buy it.
Juraj Slafkovsky next season will have 70 points or more.
Low key buy. He's been pretty decent.
And our final one. Minnesota makes a big trade this offseason.
Sell. I don't think so.
Right. So that was buy or sell. I think. Did you enjoy that?
That was pretty fun, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now we're going to your favorite game. You've played it before. Welcome to What Year Is It?
Oh, buddy. What year is it? All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, if you've been watching for a while, last time we were on, we had a game called What Year Is It? Where basically it has to be a year within the past, 25 years. And I tell Evan, Evan will ask about teams or ask about certain events. And once the team has been said, he can't use that team again. And I can't give him Stanley Cup Finals. Those are the two rules. And once I get this page
So
up,
just
we
to
can start.
clarify, how far back? It's not
25
until
years. So
it's
2000.
just 2000, right?
So, yeah, because I wouldn't
Okay.
get
So for this
what
season,
happened in 1985 on February 19th. I wouldn't say like
no, I can't freaking do that. No. All right, we'll start with an easy one. Who won the league that year?
who won the league. Blackhawks.
Blackhawks. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're probably looking at 2010s, 2011s. 2010s, 2011s. Let's see. So that meant the Blackhawks won the West. Who won the East that year?
Sorry, that was the they won the league, like won like they were the first in team in the league.
Yeah, Blackhawks were the first team in the league. Who
Yeah,
won the
okay.
Eastern Conference?
Who won the? I can't tell you that. I can't give you Stanley Cup Finals.
You can't tell me who won the Eastern Conference? I meant the East in the NHL.
Oh, sorry.
Like in the league.
The
What the hell?
East? Sorry about that. The East, Pittsburgh.
Okay. Who was you can tell me, can you tell me who was last in the NHL that year?
I can.
Yay.
The Florida Panthers were the last team in the NHL with 36 points.
I'm on to you. I'm on to you. Since when? How many? I get 20 questions, right?
Yeah, you've done 3 so far.
I'm on to you. I'm on to you, James. I'm on to you a little bit here. Let me. Can I ask who led the league in scoring, or is it for one of those teams?
Yep, you can. Let me see if their team led the league in scoring. Then I can't give it to you. Led the league in scoring. It was Martin St. Louis of the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Okay, so that knocks out Tampa. So we are looking like early 2010s. I don't know. Let me think here. So let me look at
awards. About awards, about playoffs, about the draft.
Who got first overall that year?
So remember, the first overall is the beginning of the year, not the end of the year. So.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So the first pick of the draft was Edmonton.
I'm on to you. I'm on to you. I know what year it is.
Do you want to have a guess?
I know what year it is.
So I'd like to guess.
Well, connecting the dots here. Chicago really, if I'm correct, they really weren't first in the league that much. They really weren't. They were a team that was winning Stanley Cups, but they weren't a team that was necessarily first.
They were
in the
always
NHL
like the 2 or 3 seed in the West. Yeah, so you are kind of correct.
Yeah. So the only time that I don't know. Pittsburgh's kind of a difficult one because Pittsburgh was generally one of the higher seeds throughout the entire 2010s. So that's a more difficult one to look at.
Mhm.
Florida being last in the NHL, however, hasn't happened often. And since when does a team with 36 in an 82 game season, does a team with 36 points? That doesn't correlate with me. How in 82 games you get 36 points? I'm on to you. I'm on to you. Oh, I see the look on your face. I'm on to you. LeBlock James. Was it 2012, 2013?
It was, because it was the lockout year.
Yeah, I'm insane. Look at that. Look at that.
All right,
Look at that.
we're gonna do one more of guess what year it is, because you seem to enjoy it.
That one wasn't terribly hard. I'm 2 for 2. Wow.
Yeah.
No, that was a good one though, because like Chicago, you really have to think like Chicago wasn't first in the league that often. Like
So
it and that's why I thought it was a shortened year, because Chicago, like, that was like a time frame where they were really dominant, and I don't know.
so
And
you
then
got that
Florida
one in
being
five.
last.
You got that one in 5 questions.
I'm
All right, we
crazy.
have our next one up. Are you ready, Mr. 97? Remember, you guys about playoffs,
I am ready.
conference finals, draft, all that. It's all out in the open, but when you use the team, you're done.
Okay. All right. We're gonna go with what I'm pretty good with conference finals. What year? What was the conference finals matchups? Can I ask both of them, or can I just ask
I
one
can
of
give
them?
you the loser of one of them.
Loser of one of them. All right.
Because I can't give you
Yeah,
the
that's
winner.
right. You can't give me like, yeah. Okay. All right. All right.
So do you want East or West?
I'll take East.
Buffalo lost in the conference finals.
Oh, we're looking. So that immediately knocks out the whole 2010s. Get out of here, 2010s.
I'll be honest. This question really just fucked me over. Like, really just fucked me.
So get out of. So like from 2011 backwards, we're looking at the 2000s. I genuinely don't think that Buffalo. Who who won the league that year? Because if Buffalo won the league that year, I'm throwing myself off a cliff.
Detroit.
Okay, so we're looking. So that doesn't surprise me either. Um, who won the Western Conference that year?
In season, it was Detroit. I can't tell. Like
Oh, Detroit was in the West.
yeah, this is when Detroit was in the West, so I can't
Ah,
really.
yes. I forgot about that. My apologies. Who won the East then? That's what
All
I meant
right,
to say.
Ottawa.
Okay, Ottawa. So back when Leblock was in grade school. Um,
Sure, why not?
yeah, he's giving me. He's like, why? Why do you have to do this to me?
Unnecessary
Um,
strays. Unnecessary strays.
Catching strays. Who was last that year?
Maybe go into the standings again. Go to this.
Ah, here he goes.
All right, you gotta scroll down to keep saying information. St. Louis.
Okay. So we're looking back. So we're past 2012. So Atlanta's in the league. How did Atlanta do?
Atlanta will count as your Jets, by the way.
Okay.
Atlanta.
Well, it's before 2012. So
Yeah.
the
So
Thrashers.
yeah, the Thrashers are a thing. Ooh, excuse me. The Thrashers came in 10th in the Eastern Conference with 90 points.
Okay. Who won the heart if it wasn't someone on that team?
So this one is actually this is going to count for two of your teams.
Is it really? Oh, okay. That's fine.
So the winner, Joe Forden, won the heart of as a member of the Bruins and the Sharks.
Oh, so it was the year that he got traded midway through. Okay. Oh my God, wasn't that the year? I'm talking to myself. I'm not asking you a question. That was the year Boston was a really bad team. So that eliminates Boston and San Jose.
Yeah, so that basically counts as two of your questions because he used two
That's
teams.
fine. That's fine. What year was Thornton traded? If I can find that out, then I win this. Wait. I got you. I think
All right,
Thornton got traded. I think the year after the lockout year. So was it 05-06?
Mr. 97. It is 05-06.
Oh my God!
I'm
This
gonna
is
get
too
you.
easy.
I'm gonna get you one of these days.
Too freaking easy, man.
That's all the
Bring
games
it
I
through,
got.
Davey.
That's all the games I got for the night. I think you enjoyed yourself. You got a few wins under your belt. I'm gonna get you one of these days. I'm gonna get you one of these days.
I'm crowned the champion.
One of these days, Alice. One of these days.
All right, but yeah, so that's it for Northern Block episode number 10. Thank you all very much for listening or watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe if you're on the YouTube channel end of things. If you're on the podcast end of things, give us a good review. Tell your friends, all that good stuff. Make sure to follow our Instagram at @NordBlockPod. Special announcement, we will have a TikTok account by the time our next episode airs. I'll be nailing that out with Leblock after this episode is recorded. But regardless, thank you all very much for watching or listening, and we will see you guys in episode number 11. Adios.